Hello, friends. This is Dave Hurwitz, executive editor at ClassicsToday.com, here with reference recordings. And today's reference is not exactly a single work, it's an album. The entire album is a reference recording for all of the works contained thereon, which is really quite an achievement. It's marvelous. The album was called English String Music. And originally, the original LP, which was recorded in 1962, featured Sir John Barbirolli and the Sinfonia of London doing Elgar's Introduction in Allegro and Serenade for Strings on one side, and on the other, the Vaughan Williams Tallis Fantasia and Fantasia on Greensleeves. And that was the album. Now on CD, of course, you had extra room, so they had to stuff more stuff on it. So here is a typical exemplar. It's been issued and reissued. It was one of the great recordings of the century, and you need to have like several of these. You've put one under E for Elgar, V for Vaughan Williams, and B for Barbirolli, so you have it everywhere, and you can snag it whenever you want it and plonk it on whenever the mood takes you, because you want this in every configuration you can get it. It is so gorgeous, so beautifully done, so wonderfully, magnificently fabulous. I mean, really, it is great. And you listen to it. I've listened to it a lot, both as an LP and then later as a compact disc. Now, the compact disc version here contains also the Elegy and Sospiri, Sighs by Elgar, and also Bax's Tintagel, which is, of course, not strings at all. It's a big, splashy tone poem. And now, English music for strings. Yes, string orchestra performances were a thing in England in the first half of the 20th century, possibly because of financial considerations. But all the major composers wrote marvelous music for string ensembles. I mean, there's just this wonderful, wonderful tradition of it. I mean, there's Tippett's Concerto for Double String Orchestra and Corelli Fantasia and Little Music for Strings and all that stuff, or whatever that stuff is called. And there's Britten's Simple Symphony and his variations on a theme by Frank Bridge. And it just keeps going. Howells wrote things, and Bridge wrote a string serenade, and there's just tons of this stuff. And it's very, very good. And there were, of course, fine ensembles, string orchestra ensembles that played this music. There was the Boyd Neal, chamber orchestra, the Boyd Neal Orchestra, whatever it was called. And when Mariner came along with the Academy of St. Martin in the Fields, you had what was basically a string ensemble that could play all of this music. So there is a tradition. It's a genuine tradition, a good tradition, a wonderful tradition. And the great exemplars of that tradition, aside from the Frank Bridge variations by Britten, are, I don't know which never mind, are, whatever, the Vaughan Williams Tallis Fantasia and the Elgar Introduction in Allegro. Now, the Elgar Introduction in Allegro, which is for string quartet, here the Allegri string quartet, and full string orchestra, was not all that popular when it first came out. It was one of those pieces that's impossible to categorize, because it's a single movement that does exactly what it says it does. It has an introduction and it has an allegro that follows it. And it's about, well, how long is it, this performance? I'll tell you exactly how long it is. Wait a moment. What is that? Oh, that is weird. Okay. There's some strange things in this Barbirolli's 10 Greatest Hits thing. So the introduction in Allegro is 13 minutes and 59 seconds. It's a wonderful, passionate exordium, gorgeously written, because Elgar had such a feel for the sonority of the string section, as did Vaughan Williams, whose Tallis Fantasia has become something of an iconic masterpiece of the modal revival, the idea of using Renaissance or early music themes and writing in that same harmonic style. And the Tallis Fantasia is for big string orchestra, little string orchestra, and string quartet in various perspectives and things. And it's just the most unbelievable piece of music you've ever heard in your life. If you don't know the Vaughan Williams Tallis Fantasia, then you don't know what you've been missing. It is extraordinary. Absolutely extraordinary. So these performances simply own those pieces. Other people did it. Remember, Adrian Bolt was around during this time, and he recorded the Tallis Fantasia, a much more stately performance, and the Elgar too. But these performances by Barbirolli, what they have is this spontaneity and passion, real passion, like sweaty passion, the kind that you don't normally expect in English music or expect from English conductors. There's nothing of the stiff upper lip in these performances. They just exude expressivity, and they're so gripping. I mean, the first time I played this record, that was it. I was done. It was over. It was like my favorite record for a year, and it would be yours too. I'm sure it was yours when you first got it back in the day. You could back me up on this. Please do. And as a result of that, this particular album became the reference recording for everything that was on it. You really didn't need anything else. Now, since then, there have been other stunning recordings of these works. I mean, they really have. Actually, the Elgar introduction in Allegro has never been done better, I don't think. I mean, there are other performances of it that are quite good, very good. But this was really, really special. It had so much intensity and contrast between the string quartet and the bigness of the full ensemble. It was really wonderful. As for the Vaughan Williams, well, I actually came to prefer the Silvestri recording because I also think it's a little better recorded, which is also on EMI from Bournemouth, it's amazing. Coupled with Elgar as well, originally in the South, and the Vaughan Williams Overture to the Wasps. Boy, is that another great record. And then the Ormandy Tallis Fantasia with Philadelphia, which is every bit as great as either of those. They're sort of those three are the iconic Tallis Fantasia recordings. Everybody else, by comparison, seems to be missing just a little something, just a soupçon of je ne sais quoi, of whatever it is it's missing is missing. So the Barbirolli, Vaughan Williams, and Elgar collection is the one to get. And it always has been, and there is no sign of it ever being replaced by anything else. It has been equaled in certain of its elements, but as a complete production, it stands alone. So keep on listening, friends. Thanks for joining me. Take care.